I hate crappy websites.
Oh my gosh. Now, we work on websites all day. And if your site has issues in 2021, like on your phone, I'm gone. I'm
Yeah,
gone. Yeah.
that's
It's,
the biggest one. And we were
yeah.
just talking about like bank websites and corporate websites are like the worst offender. It's like just put something up there,
Yeah.
and it's this amalgam of crap that's up there,
I
and you just
know.
go, I know nothing. And it's funny, you could tell an old institution from a new institution instantly.
Exactly. Exactly. And, you're going to be wanting to work with that other one that's hip and cool. There you
Exactly.
go.
I'm Rich G.
I'm BJ Flagg, and this is episode 195, Website Essentials for 2021. Yes, it's my
Yeah,
favorite subject.
yeah, this is going to be all BJ all the time. So
Oh, this is hilarious. And what makes it so hilarious is Rich changes his website every day. And he always says, "Oh, new made my website." I'm going, "Oh my gosh. Oh my
yeah,
gosh." He has morphed it, changed it, flipped the home sliders, put the video in, get the thing to happen.
I am the
Anytime there's a new thing, Rich
yeah,
has got to have it on there.
I am the most fickle guy, and I see competition that do something. I
Boom.
am like Picasso, good artist copy, great artist steal. I will see something and go, okay, I got to put that on my site. So
Oh my gosh.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible. So
Yeah, but you have to go to it because I think you're gonna see an energy on there that you don't see on other corporate sites, and you're gonna love it. So that's my first commercial.
yeah, like Thor is the god of thunder. I'm the god of websites. You know, when I work,
Yeah.
lightning happens and all this stuff. Well, anyway, the reason why we're doing this podcast is that a lot of people out there probably have websites that they really need to update, make a few tweaks for the 21st century. So we're going to tell you about 4 different essential things you need to do.
Right, and this will get you going to really reflect on your own site. Good thing to do this summer. So give us an essential number one.
Well, essential number one is make your navigation simple. Keep it
Yes.
simple. Too many sites, website navigation mirrored an encyclopedia. It's like you had A
Yes.
through Z up there. And that was the norm. Like
Yeah.
10, 15 years ago. Yeah, that's the thing. Not today. Um,
No.
yeah. Seven to
No.
7 to 10 navigation titles with drop down lists of 10 to 15 areas don't work.
It's over. Oh my God. Unless you're somebody like Amazon, most people are going to get lost and get out. So, yeah,
Yeah.
drop that down.
Yeah, keep it. And BJ, you could expand on this. I've always told my clients, keep it to 5 areas, like your
Mm,
homepage, about you page, your services and products, a contact page, and then finally what I call the sandbox. It could be a blog, podcasts, articles,
Portfolio,
links,
something. Yep. Yep.
that's
And
it. Five
that is it.
items.
Yeah. You're really boiling it down to get to them to continue to move on to one of those pages. So this is the time to just keep it super simple.
Yeah. And try not to do drop downs if you have to. I mean, if you have to, keep it to 2 to 4 items maximum. Like
Right.
under services products, that's fine.
Oh
But
yeah, and don't let them grow. Don't let it grow. Like I had somebody put on the about page. They decided to put the annual report, and I said, okay, well, who is going to be looking at that? Oh, well, it's for the board of directors. I want them to find it. No, no, no. Email the board of directors. Give them the annual report, and then for everybody else, it's somewhere on the about page. But it does not need to be that high a priority. So it's really being judicious about, what's going to be on that drop down.
yeah, and then don't be clever with your item titles either. People
No.
like put weird stuff up there. And I'm sitting here going, I have no idea what this is. because if they don't instantly understand that nav item title, they're gone. They're just like,
Right.
oh, this person's being too clever with me. I hate that.
We had a client who wanted to call her shop Finds, Finds, Finds. No one bought anything. I said, I got a great idea. Why don't you call it Shop? Shop.
Yeah.
And within a week, people were using it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
That's
shopping
what
cart.
just shop.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So essential number 2 is all about your homepage. Your homepage really needs to direct. And you can definitely pack things into the homepage and consider the visitor's experience as you're doing it. You know, if you want everyone to look at this homepage, you've got to make it impactful, easy to grasp what your company does. And then bear in mind, you're beginning to tell your story. And so this is the point where you have the highest impact,
Yeah.
highest attention. So don't waste it.
Yeah. And video is the way to go when a
Oh yeah.
person first gets to your site. No sound, make it serene, and have a call to action to move them along.
Yeah. The moving along is the most important thing.
Yeah.
You're creating a conversion path basically from that front page, and the ability to move them along to the next part of your story is essential, and you're in control of that. You know, a lot of people say to me, "Oh, I don't want to put that there," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, okay. So what's your next step? What's your next step? You know, if you were in person, what would your next step be? You know, are you going to
Yeah.
take them to services? You're going to take them to offerings? You know, Rich, you always talk about the about page.
Yes.
You know, and you need to direct them there as quick as you possibly can.
Especially if you're the product. If you're a service like an attorney or a dentist or
Yeah.
a coach, you are the product. They need to see the product. They need to experience the product. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I'll give you an example. I was looking for a new general practitioner doctor, and it was funny. The
Mm-hmm.
doctor I chose, it was a website that had videos of him talking to you about his philosophy. And I was like, I like that guy. I called him up, made an appointment.
And you know what that is? That's validation.
Yeah.
He provided validation right away, and you know he's legit. You know how he feels, right?
Hmm.
And it is phenomenal. You know, if he
Yeah.
had something like, if you put on a web page a blog feed, for instance, people
Hmm.
could see that you're regularly updating it. It's got fresh information about your company. You talked about all different types of offerings. You know, that's what he's trying to accomplish in that video, is to give fresh information to you and make you feel at ease.
BJ, you are so spot on here. Whenever I go to like a competitor's website or I'm looking around, because of course I'm very competitive,
Yes.
I'll look at their blog list. And if I see that they haven't written a blog post in like 4 years, I
Yeah.
go, they're not serious. They're
Yeah.
not serious, or they're not serious about their marketing. And by the way, I'm not saying you have to be the New York Times, but if you're going to have a blog or a podcast or links or gallery,
Yeah.
update it. Update it. Don't just let it stay. You see people that have that burst. In
Yes.
2017, they wrote 10 articles. Then they
I
stop.
know. I know. And, there's also the other people who have a varied offerings. And then
Mhm.
all they do in the blog is talk about one of the offerings.
Yes.
And you sit there going, do you really do those other things? I don't think you really do those other things. And that is, you got to get them excited. You got to get them, feeling like, oh, I want to go to the next step. I want to quote, learn more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Websites are like kitchens. You know when you walk into the kitchen whether or not it's been updated in the last 10 years. And
Right.
and you could see it. You could see it, old stuff. And you just go, oh my God. If they're not paying attention to their website, which is the primary vehicle of communication for their
Right.
business, what else are they dropping the ball on?
Right. That gets a little scary.
So essential number three is design for mobile. Okay. This is a huge one. Less is more because 60 to 80% of website surfing occurs on a smartphone.
Yeah. And many of the sites today try to cram the kitchen sink into their website. And we have to understand that certain people are really literally just going for the validation, a quick swipe of the homepage. And yeah, they might do a little bit of a deep dive into one little section, but don't make it hard for them. Don't make
Yeah.
it hard for them to find things.
Yeah. Large blocks of copy do not translate well into mobile.
No.
They're scanning. They're just scrolling and scanning. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, I read an interesting article actually about the New York Times and how they had to change their philosophy digitally
Yeah.
to shorter clumps of information. And then there would be links. So if you wanted to go dive a little bit more on that one topic, you could. But the article itself they've translated to much more of a shorter one. And that's amazing when a large site like that, listens and changes it.
Yeah, and the most important thing, and BJ, this is where I'm going to give you a lot of latitude. Make sure your site is mobile friendly.
Oh my
If
gosh.
images or copy are askew, it immediately says unprofessional.
Oh yeah. We have two different times during the website development process where the mobile experience is discussed. Very at the very, 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 very beginning, so that we design with mobile in mind. And as we're designing, we're thinking of all those mobile experiences. And then at the end, where the site is combed over,
Mm-hmm.
looked at different types of phone, and Android, and iPhone, and this and that. Mobile can also mean iPads. So, we really make sure it's responsive everywhere so
Yeah,
that it has the same, so you're controlling and having the same experience no matter if you're on desktop or mobile. So it really is very important for sure. Now, our last essential is have a call to action.
yes,
Rich, I know you've been on sites where there aren't call to action. You're going, where do you want me to go? Like,
yeah,
what's the next step? I don't know. And if you don't have that call to action everywhere on the site, sometimes it's your only chance to catch their attention.
yeah,
And, a lot of the companies only use them on the homepage, which I marvel at because I think to myself, oh my gosh, internally, there's so many more opportunities for you to move them on a conversion path and
yeah.
take advantage of it. It's just such a great tool to keep moving them on to the next step where you want them to be.
Yeah, if you're a service industry, you need to have your phone number everywhere
Yeah,
because 9 times out of 10, that's how people they're going to say, okay, if you're a plumber, okay, that looks good. What's their phone number? And
right.
if it isn't on every page, or you have to look for it, or you have to go to the contact me page, your phone number and other things. Now,
Yeah,
with me, like with coaching, I have a block at the bottom of every page that kind of says, let's have a conversation. And I actually use a great product that really changed my business, which is Calendly, which they just click on it. They could set up an appointment with me and I get rid of the friction. It's just done.
yeah, yeah. And the interesting thing to watch a person do is automatically want to engage with you. You might have a group of people who need a specific person. We have a
Yes.
large financial site we did. And so there's different groups, obviously. And so there, in that case, it was emailing, the
Yeah.
ability for that person to rapidly email the correct person.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It absolutely changed their sales funnel. All of a sudden they were getting leads directly to the right person. So you
Yeah.
can't beat that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't you find too, like, Rich, you have a very active email program.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, just the ability for them to sign up for your newsletter quickly.
Yep. What I do is I give away a gift. I say, hey, look, here's a short, I call them playbooks
Yep.
that people can download. And all I need to get is their first name and their email address. They download the playbook. Now I've got their email that I can then, keep the conversation going. And
Right.
they'll get my articles and or podcasts that we do.
Right. And, back in, you hate to say it, but white papers are still great. If you have a type of a business that's a little tricky to understand, and people are seeking you out, white papers are still very good. A case study, very good.
Yeah.
It's just that don't expect that on the first level.
Yeah.
That's a couple levels down when you do it. You might have to have a link to a landing page, and it talks about a promotion or special event or, the white paper. So, you have to kind of move them. That's the most important thing.
And the call to action at the bottom. And BJ, for years, I screwed this up. Needs to be short and direct.
Right.
For years on my call to action, I was like, well, let's have a conversation. We could talk together. And then when I went into this War and Peace kind of explanation, now on my site, it says, you have two choices. Click here to set up an appointment or call me.
Exactly.
It's just like to the point.
Right. Right. And, don't make them hunt for it. Just don't make them hunt for it. The videos and the beautiful graphics and all of that kind of stuff is to get them excited. Okay, but now you got to move them to learn more. So, as quick as you possibly could do that, let's get it to happen.
So our resource this week is probably one of the most powerful resources that we can deliver to help you make the best website for 2021. It's, yes, that's right, newrenew.com. It is a great resource. And I want to talk to you more about New Renew brand marketing because it is a full service brand marketing company. They just don't do one little thing. They do a lot. And BJ's firm will act as your marketing partner to get your startup or existing business off the ground. Branding, messaging, websites, and support materials. BJ's team does it all. And go to newrenew.com. That's NURENU.com. Check them out. BJ, why don't you talk a little bit about?
And what is so great? And, Richard and I always say this is our podcast. So a lot of times when we want to get out there and talk about our businesses, it's because we're passionate. We're so passionate about what we do. And the beauty of that I always find in New Renew is that we're catching people at the beginning of their passion. And it is a pleasure. It's also, I know, a privilege. And to be able to walk with people at the very, either that startup or when their division is about to do something absolutely amazing, it's fantastic. So, I'm always thrilled to get to hear about what that next step is. So, A-OK. I think, thank you, Rich, for giving me that opportunity. That's about it. And we have a fantastic other person that we want to talk about. If you're afraid of losing your best people or happily losing your worst people, you definitely need to contact Rich G, who's our other sponsor of the week. He has helped hundreds of businesses keep, motivate, empower, and grow their staff. You can, you can schedule your free 30-minute chat on richg.com and learn how Rich can energize your team and keep them motivated. I promise that he will deliver at least one powerful idea. He made me bring it down to one. I know. I was up there at 5, but one powerful idea to make your business zoom in 2021.
Thank you to our producer, editor, and king of creative, Richard Scalzo, the man who makes everything happen with our podcast, bringing you the best small business podcast every Tuesday. We're coming up to 300 episodes.
Or 200.
Or 200. I see. I'm just like, have an
Zipping along.
unbelievable week.
You too, and catch you later.